All right. Thank you again to Dean as he exits the room here. I thought that was phenomenal. An excellent investment of time here to get us started this morning. I think leadership, as we talk about all the crisis of the specifics within events and what we're doing, I think maintaining a sense of leadership and who we are is going to help get us to the other side. And I do think that in looking around the room and knowing who's online, we do have leaders in the industry. And so for us to continue striving forward and maintaining those principles, I think is important. At this point, we're going to get through some of the mundane stuff. It is the 26th Annual CFEA Conference and Trade Show, what do I call this? Annual report. So in our annual reports, do I have Robert's Rules of Order? I need someone, do we need a motion?
You don't need to call it until we get to the one that says annual.
Annual meeting, all right. So we'll quickly spin through, not that we don't love them dearly, but thank you to all our sponsors. What?
Can you play the slideshow?
I can try. If you tell me how. Exactly. Okay. How about motion for leadership that knows what the hell they're doing? How about that? All right. Well, we're taking nominations for a new president all of a sudden. Look at that. All right. So our annual trade show, we were too thanking our beloved sponsors, CAM, Colorado Barricade, and Kaleidoscope, as well as Event Hub, Ticket Spice, Altitude Event Services, and Pepsi. And thank you to our long list of presenters and panelists. As you can see in looking at that, obviously not all were on site. We had a very robust virtual schedule, so I'm not going to go through all of that, but thank you to everyone. And a special thanks to those that showed up and were able to be here in person. I think in talking to the presenters that we had and as we were lining this up, the fact that we were able to get some people together, even in a room as distant and safe as this, was exciting for a lot of people. So within that, special thanks to Dean and John from yesterday. We do have our trade show online, so if you haven't gone there, please do. This gives a little bit of a layout of where they are, who that is, where you can find them. Obviously, some in there. We have Zambelli Fireworks and a few others that weren't in our annual sponsorships. So definitely go in. Honeycomb Strategies in there. She was a presenter yesterday. Definitely check that out. In this new world of virtual, we want to make sure that these trade shows are working both for the exhibitors and the people that are attending. So check that out. Give us feedback. Let us know how we can do this better, or also let us know what we're doing right. That would be helpful. Thank you to the Golden Hotel in the town of Golden. We have had a great time here, and we appreciate you accommodating us, especially considering the circumstances. And we do have a look at our new website. So one thing that we did, and we'll get into kind of what we did in the last year, but as a board, we took the opportunity in this space to get a new website created. We did a new logo and a new branding campaign. And so we wanted it to be more representative of the organization where we were going. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but definitely check out our social media and our website for where we're going with that. The Meetings Industry Council, at this point, I'm going to turn this over to Kinsley for a full report on what's happening within that.
So I am currently the MIC rep for CFEA. For most of you, I believe, know what MIC is, but I like to give a little touch up on that every year. The Meeting Industry Council is made up of 13 different event-specific organizations in Colorado. This is the only one in the country. This is, we are on, I believe it's 17 years with MIC, and it's being watched by a lot of other states, so we're kind of the front of gathering everybody together. We have a continued strategic partnership. Everybody that is a CFEA member has an MIC membership automatically. And this is connections to other organizations and access to both Serving Up Hope and the annual conference that they always hold in March. Last year, we got one of the highest payouts received from them, over $4,000. So part of our membership is that we participate with CFEA or with the conference. We hold positions. We have points. We promote MIC events. And at the end of the year, they split up the profits that the organization makes and pay it back to all 13 organizations, with the exception of Visit Denver, who is a membership organization, but they always donate their money back to us. So it actually gets split 12 ways depending on participation, which is why it's very important for us to have an active MIC council member. We currently have 2 CFEA members that are on the executive committee for MIC. Considering there's only 6 spots and there's 13 organizations, the fact that we've got 2 right now is really impressive. We are one of the smallest organizations, and I like to joke that we're the redheaded stepchild of MIC because we're the only group that actually focuses on outdoor events. Everything else is a little bit more indoors, meetings, weddings, a lot of that stuff. So I have a lot of very unique conversations with MIC members because they do one event with a tent and they're like, you guys are all crazy. And they come to me for a lot of questions about doing these outdoor events and who to talk to. So CFEA gets some really good leads. We're able to do a lot of transferring of business and getting in with some of these other larger organizations. So right now, Cody Galloway is the secretary for MIC and Laura Knowlton is the incoming president. So awesome, really excited because having that support for CFEA higher up has been extremely helpful for us too. Currently, their current goals is to have a hybrid conference in March in 2021. We just voted on it. They're hoping to have about 500 people in person and about 800 online. The event usually brings in over 1,500 planners plus suppliers. This is a huge one. They take over a good chunk of the convention center every year for the event. They're really excited. We have gotten a lot of props this year from them about CFEA because we've been pushing. We were kind of the first ones to actually go online and do the online happy hours to actually have themes. We were playing games. We were connecting. We were doing the social media. And it's one of those things to get props from big organizations like this who have full-time administrators who are doing it, and we're getting props from them saying, hey, we know you're small, we know you're volunteer, and you've been pushing out the information quicker and more consistent than a lot of the bigger organizations through all of COVID. And lastly, one of the really cool things that they just added was a Global Meeting Industry Day. This year should have been the second one that we celebrated. Unfortunately, it was canceled. It was on April 14th. So this one was canceled, but they did do a Zoom that they got over 1,000 people onto the Zoom. So they had 1,000 planners. So this is where we're starting to go. Not only are we statewide, we're going to start going global and get that connection that's coming up.
Hello again. All right. So as part of our annual meeting, we wanted to do a year in review. Obviously, it's been quite a year, and so we'll try and hit on everything. A few slides from last year. I was trying to see what the pictures were. Last year, we did have the 2019 CFEA Conference and Trade Show. It was successful. It was 100% in person, and can't say enough about it. So I think everybody in this room was there. So if you weren't there virtually, if you're out there, make it next year. The Serving Up Hope Luncheon, again, great success, had a great time there. The MIC conference, one interesting note about that is that conference actually happened March 11th and 12th. And so the great shutdown happened on Friday, March 13th. So they were the last one. There was rumors and there was concerns, but they boldly put that thing on and made it successful. So it was great. So there you go. On record. So that was on the forefront. As I say, we'll come back around to some of that. As Kinsley alluded to, we decided rather than to stick our head in the sand to really try and involve ourselves. As an association and from the board level, we discussed how to participate and what we wanted to do. We decided collectively that we didn't want to become an advocacy group. We weren't epidemiology experts. We weren't going to create these writing campaigns. There was a lot of advocacy groups that came up, and great. We needed them. I'm glad they created a voice. But as an association, we didn't want to do that. We decided that safety was our first priority. Second priority was to become an information resource. And so we did a lot of emailing, newslettering, providing of just links on everything that was going out there. So new grant programs, get people information on that. Mental health programs, get people information on that. So we tried to just be a great conduit for everything that was going on and got some good recognition for it. We also very quickly went into the virtual happy hour. And we went in pretty quick, and we didn't just go with a flat screen and the Brady Bunch staring at each other with blank eyes. We brought in a guest bartender and made different cocktails that people wouldn't have had otherwise. We emailed out what ingredients they needed to have, had them sitting there, and we did a cocktail hour. We actually brought in a magician. I didn't realize how much the magicians were affected in that time frame, but they, as an industry, also pivoted and created whole new magic acts that were done online. And so we brought in a magician really early and learned what they were doing, which I thought was phenomenal. But in all of that, what we learned is, yes, people were still craving, as we became more Zoom overloaded, there were creative ways to do this. And as an industry, there were creative ways for us to stay engaged and keeping people together. And then that led to the webinars. We felt that even when we didn't have the answers, there was opportunity to provide education about what was going on, what was working. And so we tried to provide that as quickly and effectively as possible. And then finally, we did hire a new association manager. I think everyone in the room knows Andrea Furness. And so she has been a former president. She's been on the board for years, and she is now the one and only paid employee within CFEA. And I mention that because we are primarily a volunteer-run organization, but we do have one associate manager to take care of the admin stuff. Oh, I need to call the meeting to order. Do I have a motion? A second. All in favor? Online thumbs up? We're good. All right. All right. It's official. We're here. It ain't changing. All right. I don't know how well all of you can see this. This is our financials. Haha. That's not on purpose, I promise. The one thing about this, we are a public organization. If you want to see these financials, we will provide them. What I want to highlight in this is these are actually, even if you do want to get up close to the screen and scrutinize it, this isn't 100% accurate. As an organization, and it was mentioned yesterday with what we're doing, we do have funds that people paid for this conference to be in person. Those people very graciously said, just roll those funds to next year. They didn't want that money back. But as an association, we don't want to just spend down to the last dime thinking that we're trying to just get through this year. We are actively looking to 2021 and how to manage it and what to do. So those funds will be actively removed from an active account, put into something that will show up as profit on our 2021 books. And so, as I say, I think for organizations that are struggling, not ours, but for organizations that are struggling and people that are on the fence and companies that are on the fence, they're kind of just trying to run down to that last burn right now. And we want our membership to know that that's not where we're at. We're still very actively looking forward and striving on how to improve and what new programs we can add next year and how we're going to do that. So I just want you guys to have that confidence that while these aren't accurate, we will have them accurate and they will be run properly versus on a mismatch fashion.
Something I forgot to put in there was we have approximately 9,000 in checking and 4,000 in savings, and that's not showing that part of it, or 5,000 plus in savings.
So
Financially, we are in the best condition we have been in years. Last year was a really good money year for us, which is even more perfect.
there you go.
We had to we're going to use a little money this year. The conference most likely will not make money this year, but we felt it was very important to bring and be together and all that. So that will all be done, and we will send that out with final numbers and all of that to the members.
So to rehash for those virtual, we have, in addition to the profit and loss statement, we have 9,000 in a savings account, 4,000 in a checking account, or vice versa. We will get that managed, but again, we do have reserve funds, and so we're managing that to go forward. It was also alluded that the funds that will be transferred to next year will remain separate. This conference this year probably will not be a profit year conference, and so that will be shown as a loss that will reflect. But as I say, anybody that wants access to this information, we will provide it in a public fashion ongoing, and so you can look at it on a monthly basis if you'd like. I know everybody in the room is riveted by it. I'll move on. Thank you to our board members. As I say, as an organization, we came together. We added a lot of new board members this year, but I think the people that we have are the highest quality people in the industry, and I can't thank them enough for being present this year. I know a lot of associations, and I know a lot of leaders that just stuck their head in the sand, and they just hid because they didn't want to be wrong, and they didn't want to be part of the problem, and so they did nothing. And this list of people here stayed active, stayed engaged, stayed creative, and did everything they could to assist not just this association, but the events industry as a whole. So going down, excluding myself in that conversation, Aaron Atkinson, Secretary, Lindsay Friend, Treasurer, Kinsley Phillips, our MIC Rep, Lexi Kingsbury, Tim Taylor, Mark Wonder, Aaron Forbeau, Anna Salim, Krista De Herrera, Adam Schmidt, and Andrea Furness, our Association Manager. Me too. We have a objection in a second to Kinsley leaving. We will spend the next part of the meeting rewriting our bylaws in order to allow. So no, we did jumping to the bottom, and this is a sad piece, but we are losing 3 great board members, Kinsley Phillips being one of them here in the room. So thank you for all your time and service. We appreciate you. Mark Wonder and Aaron are not here, but we thank them as well. They did great things. But as I say, if you look through that list, I think everyone will agree we have great representation in what we're doing. And these all, except for the 3 at the bottom, are moving into next year. So as I said, we're excited about what we're doing and where we're at right here and now, but we're also really excited about what we think we can do going forward. And that leads us to, with all of the excitement of what we have going on, we do need you. We can't emphasize it enough. Great leadership requires more great leaders to come in and feed that and keep this going. So again, if you appreciate where we're at and what we're doing and want to help the event industry on a greater level, join us. We need committee members. We need conference-specific planners. We need help finding sponsors. We need help finding presenters for more educational opportunities. We're looking at next year trying to provide more certification opportunities through CFEA. So as I say, the opportunity for what we can do is unlimited, and we just need your help to get us there. This is not my quote, but I'll read it. I have a ton of excitement in my life, which I do. I used to call it stress, but I feel much better now that I call it excitement. And I think that is about a good quote for all of us. We rephrase the words, we rephrase how we approach things, and then suddenly the reaction changes to go with it. So I think that is great. Again, I appreciate everybody for being here. I have a motion to close the annual meeting. I got we got a first and a second. We are official. And we are closed, and I will exit the stage. For those of you virtually, we will be back soon with a great presentation from Krista.
As long as I got you.